Welcome in, everybody, to another deep dive. Today we're exploring something, honestly, I wasn't sure how it was going to go, a connection between Zen philosophy and financial well-being.
Right.
You've got a bunch of your sources right here, and
It's really fascinating.
yeah, even I was surprised at how much these ancient practices really could apply to managing our modern finances.
Well, I think what's really interesting is how Zen, like at its heart, is about this deep understanding of ourselves and then like finding balance in life.
Mhm.
It might seem, pretty far away from spreadsheets and, monthly budgets, but that's really where the magic happens. When you apply those principles, mindfulness, minimalism, acceptance, your entire perspective on wealth can really shift.
Okay, so this isn't just about chanting on a mountaintop. There's actual stuff we can take away for our money day to day.
Totally. Absolutely. Like, we'll unpack how mindful spending, for instance, can help you break free from those impulse purchases, how minimalism applies not just to your overflowing closet, but also your finances, and even some practical techniques like the Zen jar method.
Hold on, jars of money. That sounds like something straight out of a pirate movie.
Not quite. We'll get into it later, but it's a really visual way to budget that aligns with that Zen emphasis on balance.
All right, you've got my attention. Let's unpack this. First up, mindful spending. I hear it everywhere. But how does it work in practice when I'm, let's say, staring down a tempting online sale?
Think about it this way. Most of our spending happens on autopilot, right? Habits, emotions. Zen teaches us to pause, become aware of those impulses, and then make a choice.
So instead of add to cart, I'm taking a breath and asking myself,
Do I need this? How does it align with my values, my goals? It's not about deprivation, it's intention.
not just saying no to everything, but being deliberate. How does that tie back to the bigger picture of financial well-being then?
When you spend on what matters, you find purpose. The kind money alone can't buy. You stop chasing those desires, you start investing in the life you want.
Makes sense. Okay, minimalism. I love decluttering my space, but my finances.
Just like that closet, we've got financial clutter weighing us down, subscriptions, debt, things we regret buying. It's simplifying, letting go, making space for what truly does serve us.
So not being a hermit, but conscious choices.
Yeah.
Freeing up mental and financial resources for what matters.
Exactly. It's not just things you buy, but commitments too. That gym membership you never use, maybe even a side hustle that drains you more than it's worth.
This is making me think, now I gotta know more about this Zen jar method. What's the secret to harmony with jars?
Picture this. You divide your income into different jars, each one a part of your life essentials, savings, personal growth, joy, even giving back to others.
So instead of it all being lumped together, I'm allocating it so I don't overspend in one area and neglect another.
Exactly. That's balance in action. It's tangible with this method. It's not rigid percentages, but finding what works for you so every area gets nurtured.
Wow, this is way more interesting than I thought. But life isn't always smooth, right? What about those financial ups and downs? Any wisdom for weathering those storms?
That's where impermanence comes in. Change is constant, Zen teaches us, and fighting it just makes us suffer. Applies to money too. Good times, tough times, accepting that is key.
So not ignoring the fluctuations or pretending, but acknowledging them, being able to navigate with a clear head.
Exactly. You can even use it. Keep a financial journal, track the numbers, aim to your feelings about them. Over time, you get perspective, see how things ebb and flow.
I get stressed over every little dip. If I saw it as part of a cycle, that helped.
Totally. Approach challenges with acceptance, not resistance. You open yourself up to creative solutions you'd miss otherwise.
I'm rethinking my whole approach here. But before we go further, I'm curious, we talked a lot about Zen principles, but what about the emotional side of money? Stress, anxiety, even guilt. Does Zen say anything about that?
Zen actually offers a really powerful antidote to that. It's gratitude.
Gratitude. I can see how being thankful for what I have, like when I'm feeling down, but how does that help in the, kind of stressful world of money?
It's a perspective shift. See, instead of focusing on what you don't have or what's going wrong, you actively look for and appreciate what's good. Not ignoring the problems, but changing how you view them.
So, instead of stressing over bills, I should be grateful for, I don't know, my house, food. Sounds almost too simple.
It is simple, but that doesn't mean it's not effective. Try this. Each day, just write down 3 things you're grateful for about money or anything really. Over time, your brain starts to notice abundance instead of scarcity.
Okay, I'm willing to try, but gotta ask, we're talking a lot about ourselves, our spending, our feelings. Where does generosity fit in with Zen and money? Seems counterintuitive, like giving money away. when I'm trying to be mindful of it.
Common misconception. Generosity in Zen isn't about depleting resources, it's about creating a flow of positive energy. It fights that fear of scarcity, builds a mindset of abundance.
So by giving back, even a little, I'm reinforcing the idea that there's enough.
Exactly. Doesn't have to be big sums either, it's the intention. Maybe donating to a cause, helping a friend, even offering your skills.
This is making me rethink everything. We covered mindfulness, minimalism, now gratitude, generosity. It's a lot. But how does all this wisdom translate into setting goals and actually achieving them financially?
Zen encourages aligning your goals with your deepest values, what you aspire to. Not just wealth for the sake of it, but a life of purpose, meaning.
So instead of chasing some random number or keeping up with the Joneses, I should be thinking about what life I want and how money helps me get there.
That's it. When goals are rooted in something deeper, the journey's more fulfilling. You stick with it even when things get tough.
This is inspiring, but I'm a realist. Big goals take patience, persistence. In our instant gratification world, does Zen offer any advice on how to cultivate those qualities?
Think of that Zen story, the bamboo tree. For years, nothing seems to happen, but the roots are growing strong underground. Then bam, shoots up fast. That's patience, consistent effort.
Love that. Reminds me, real success takes time, dedication, trusting the process.
And Zen's about finding joy in the journey, not just the destination. Every step, no matter how small, is a win worth celebrating.
It's empowering. But life's got curveballs. Setbacks happen, especially with money. How can Zen help when I'm discouraged, want to give up on those goals?
That's where non-attachment comes in. Not being passive, giving up control, but recognizing we can't control every outcome.
So instead of getting fixated on one result, letting fear stop me, I focus on taking action, trusting things will work out.
Exactly. Doesn't mean you shouldn't have goals, but hold them lightly. Path unfolds in unexpected ways sometimes.
Like rowing a boat, you steer, but the current might take you somewhere new, maybe even more beautiful.
Beautiful analogy. And even when setbacks happen, things don't go as planned, there's always a lesson, a chance to grow, be resilient.
Okay, this has been eye-opening. I'm seeing finances in a whole new light balance, purpose, well-being over just piles of money. Before we wrap up, I'm curious about specific strategies, ways to actually bring these Zen ideas into everyday life with our finances.
Let's dive into those practical applications next time. We'll explore some real, tangible ways to be mindful spenders, declutter our financial lives, and create something that reflects what we truly value.
All right, welcome back to our deep dive into Zen and financial well-being. So we've gotten a taste of how these ancient principles can really apply to money. But let's get practical. What are some things we can start doing, like today, to bring in that balance, that intention you've been talking about?
You know, one of the most powerful but often overlooked things is creating financial rituals.
Financial rituals. That's a new one. What do you mean by that?
It's about changing how you engage with money. Not a chore, not stress, but dedicated time and space to be mindful about it.
So like instead of dreading bill paying, I make it more of an experience.
Exactly. Maybe light a candle, music, a cup of tea, whatever helps you get into that mindful state. The key is purpose, presence, while you're doing it.
I can see how that would make a big difference. Taking something that's usually a drag and making it, well, not fun, but more grounding.
And doing it regularly, that ritual reinforces the positive. It becomes a habit that supports you instead of draining you.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, we've talked about mindful spending, but how do we actually do that when, say, there's that tempting online sale or the new gadget everyone's going crazy for?
A really effective strategy waiting period for anything that's not absolutely essential.
A waiting period, like putting myself in timeout before hitting buy now.
You got it. Next time that urge hits, give yourself 24 hours, even a week, to think about it. Often that urge fades and you realize you didn't need it that badly.
Space to choose, not just be swept up in the moment, right?
Precisely. And during that waiting time, ask yourself those questions. Do I need this? Lasting joy, value, or am I filling some hole, giving into pressure?
Okay, adding that to my list. You also mentioned decluttering finances, like we do with our homes. How do we even start with that kind of clutter?
Take inventory. Bank statements, credit card bills, any subscriptions you're not using, expenses you could cut back on.
A financial spring cleaning.
Exactly. And like with stuff, the goal isn't to have nothing. It's choosing what's in your life. Every dollar freed up, you can use it for what matters: debt, savings, your future.
Makes sense. Okay, tell me more about this Zen jar method. Sounds like a really hands-on way to use those Zen ideas. Walk me through it.
Imagine jars, each one for a part of your finances, essentials, savings, personal growth, fun experiences, even giving back.
Instead of one big pile, I'm visually dividing it up, so every area is covered.
Yes, that's balance. Zen in action, you can see it. The percentages for each jar, you decide based on what you need, what's important to you.
Like a little ecosystem for my money, each part matters for the whole thing to be healthy.
Exactly. And as you pay attention to where it's going, you'll make better choices about spending, saving, all of it.
This is a totally new way to think about budgeting. But what about when things go off track? We talked about impermanence, non-attachment. How does that help when there's a financial setback, something unexpected?
Zen reminds us challenges are part of life. Fighting them, resisting, just makes it harder. So instead of fear, panic, try acceptance. Curiosity, even.
What can I learn? Instead of why me?
Right. Those setbacks, often they've got lessons hidden inside. Maybe you need to tweak your budget, find new income, or just rethink what's truly important.
That's powerful. Shifting the way I look at it. Not denying the hard part, but seeing what I can gain from it.
And remember, you're not alone in this. Everyone goes through money troubles sometime. The important thing is being resilient, resourceful, knowing you've got the strength to get through those ups and downs.
Wow. This whole conversation has been eye-opening. I feel like I've got a whole new toolkit, new ways to think about money that are about more than just, how much I have. It's about purpose, balance, feeling good about it.
So glad to hear that. And remember, Zen and money, it's a journey, not a finish line. Be kind to yourself, try different things, and trust the process.
This deep dive has been incredible. Thank you so much for sharing all this wisdom with us. And everyone listening, we hope you found this as valuable as we have. Real wealth isn't just about the numbers. It's about living a life with meaning and feeling truly content. Until next time, may your journey be full of abundance in every way.